There comes a moment in every human life when the mirror becomes a battlefield. Not a simple reflection, but a confrontation between who you are and who you were supposed to become. Most people avoid this war. They step back, lower their gaze, and surrender to the quiet destruction of wasted days. But you, standing here listening to these words, already feel that something inside you is shifting. You feel the tension of a life unlived, the heartbeat of potential pounding against the walls of your chest. The truth is simple. Success is not mystical, not accidental, not reserved for a chosen few. It is a formula, a structure, a set of daily habits that carve greatness into your bones. And the world changes the moment you decide to adopt them. Your life is not defined by your dreams. It is defined by the invisible rituals that either build those dreams or bury them. Every morning, before the world even knows your name, your mind makes a decision: evolve or repeat. Most people repeat. They wake up in the same mental prison and complain about the view. But you are going to learn something powerful today. Your transformation has nothing to do with luck and everything to do with discipline. Discipline is the architect of miracles. Discipline is the silent force that turns ordinary people into legends. And discipline begins with the 3 daily habits that will either destroy your excuses or destroy your future, depending on which version of yourself you allow to win. You must understand that your greatest enemy is not fear, not failure, not hardship. It is your comfort. Comfort is a slow killer, a silent thief that steals your potential one peaceful moment at a time. Whispers, rest another hour, try another day, you can start next week. And before you realize it, years vanish, dreams dissolve, and the strongest parts of you rust away unused. But the person who decides to break this cycle becomes unstoppable. Because once you break free from comfort, you discover a version of yourself you never knew existed. A version that is hungry, determined, relentless. That version begins to transform your destiny in ways that feel supernatural to everyone who doubted you. Greatness is built in private, long before it is celebrated in public. The world only sees the trophies, the applause, the shining moments of victory. They never see the early mornings when your doubts scream louder than your ambition. They never see the nights when your motivation dies but your discipline refuses to let you quit. They never see the failures, the sacrifices, the difficult choices that slowly shape you into someone unrecognizable. When you commit to the daily habits of success, you enter a quiet world where you compete with your past self every single day. And in that world, the only measurement that matters is whether you are stronger than yesterday. Every transformation begins with one brutal truth: you are responsible for everything you become. You can blame your family, your past, your environment, your luck, but none of that will change your reality. Responsibility is not a burden, it is a weapon. The moment you accept full ownership of your life, the chains around you begin to crack. You stop waiting for miracles and start manufacturing them. You stop hoping for opportunities and start creating them. Responsibility is the foundation of the success formula, because you cannot change what you do not claim. And once you claim your life, nothing can take it from you again. Inside you lives a version of yourself that terrifies your excuses. A version that works harder, thinks clearer, moves faster, and dreams bigger than the person you are right now. But that version is locked behind habits you haven't built yet. Transforming your life is not about making dramatic leaps. It is about conquering the small, silent actions that determine your direction. Once you align your habits with your destiny, life begins to bend in your favor. Decisions become clearer, energy becomes stronger, purpose becomes visible, and every day you practice these habits, you step deeper into the life you once thought impossible. Success demands a price, and most people are unwilling to pay it. They want the car without the grind, the respect without the struggle, the growth without the pain. But life does not operate on discounts. The universe gives you exactly what you earn, nothing more, nothing less. Those who rise are the ones who refuse to negotiate with their weaknesses. They do the work whether they feel like it or not. They build their habits like warriors sharpening their weapons. And over time, their consistency becomes their superpower. They stop chasing success and start attracting it. Your mind is the command center of your life. Everything you achieve or fail to achieve begins with the conversations happening inside your head. If those conversations are filled with doubt, fear, hesitation, and excuses, then your results will always reflect that internal chaos. But when you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your entire world. You must protect your mind from negative influences, destructive patterns, and the habits that sabotage your momentum. Because the moment your mind becomes disciplined, your future becomes inevitable. There is a reason why so many people want success, but so few achieve it. They underestimate the power of daily repetition. They rush into massive goals with temporary motivation, but motivation burns out quickly. Habit survives. Habit carries you through the days when you have no energy, no hope, no clarity. Habit turns effort into identity. Habit transforms who you are, not temporarily but permanently. And once your habits change, your life has no choice but to follow. Imagine a life where every day feels aligned with your purpose. A life where you wake up knowing exactly what to do, why you're doing it, and where it's taking you. This is not fantasy. It is the reward of mastering the success formula. The 3 daily habits you're about to learn are not ordinary practices. They are psychological triggers designed to rewire your self-belief, redirect your focus, and rebuild your lifestyle from the ground up. If you practice them consistently, your transformation will not just be visible, it will be undeniable. You must learn to treat every day as a new audition for the life you want. Not a rehearsal, not a vague hope, but a deliberate performance in which your actions prove to the world and to yourself that you deserve greatness. Each morning gives you 2 choices: repeat the misery you've tolerated or rewrite the destiny you desire. Most people choose repetition because it feels familiar, but the few who choose reinvention become unstoppable. They approach each day as if their future depends on it, because it does. Every human being has 2 lives, the one they are living and the one they are capable of living. And the painful truth is that most people never bridge the gap between these 2 worlds. Not because they lack talent, intelligence, or opportunity, but because they lack the discipline to change their patterns. But when you commit to transformational habits, habits that break your limits instead of protecting your comfort, you begin to merge those 2 lives into one. And suddenly your potential stops being a theory and becomes a reality. You were not born to live a life of hesitation. You were not designed for mediocrity. Deep inside you is a force that wants to build, create, lead, and dominate your own destiny. But to activate that force, you must detach from the identity you have outgrown. The identity built on excuses. The identity shaped by fear. The identity formed by everything that tried to break you. When you step into the habits of success, you shed that old identity like dead skin. And what emerges is someone powerful, someone disciplined, someone different from the person the world thought you were. Transformation is not loud. It is not glamorous. It does not require applause. It begins silently, in moments no one will ever witness. In the early hours when you choose discipline over comfort. In the late nights when you choose vision over distraction. In the private battles when you choose strength over surrender. These moments may feel small, insignificant, forgettable, but they are the building blocks of your new life. And once these moments become habits, your transformation becomes unstoppable. There will be days when the old version of you fights to survive. It will tempt you with old routines, old excuses, old emotions, because identity hates change. But you must understand this. The version of you that resists growth is the version that has been holding you back for years. When you stand firm, when you refuse to negotiate, when you enforce your new habits with unwavering discipline, you begin to suffocate that weak identity. And from its ashes rises a stronger, sharper, wiser version of you. One that is finally ready to step into the life you were meant to live. Every day you are building something inside yourself, whether you realize it or not. You are either building power or building weakness. You are either constructing discipline or constructing excuses. And the terrifying truth is that both construction projects feel the same in the moment. Both require effort, both require time, both require emotional energy, but only one pays you back with a life you're proud of. When you commit to the 3 daily habits of success, the architecture of your soul begins to change. You become sharper, clearer, more dangerous to the limitations that once controlled you. Success is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters. Most people waste their days drowning in meaningless activity, mistaking movement for progress, mistaking busyness for success. They exhaust themselves with tasks that lead nowhere, conversations that drain their spirit, and distractions that dissolve their potential. But when you master the right habits, you extract the poison from your daily life. You begin to operate with precision. Every action becomes intentional, every hour becomes valuable, and every moment begins to pull you closer to the future you desire. Nothing changes until your standards change. You cannot build a new life with the same expectations that created your old one. Your standards decide the quality of your relationships, the strength of your mindset, the value of your time, and the weight of your destiny. Weak standards create weak people. But when you raise your standards, truly raise them, you ignite a revolution inside yourself. You stop tolerating what drains you. You stop accepting what insults your potential. You stop allowing anything in your life that does not align with the greatness you are building. That shift alone can transform your entire world. There is a force inside you that responds to challenge. A force that becomes stronger when tested, sharper when pressured, braver when threatened. Most people never discover this force because their habits keep them safe, predictable, unchallenged. But you are different. You are stepping into daily habits that stretch your limits, habits that force you to confront your flaws instead of hiding behind them. And each time you embrace these challenges, your inner strength evolves from something fragile into something unbreakable. You must understand that the world does not reward intentions, it rewards execution. You can dream all day, plan all night, visualize every detail, but without action, your dreams stay locked inside your imagination. The 3 habits you are building are designed to force action. They turn your dreams from distant fantasies into daily responsibilities. They eliminate the gap between who you want to be and who you actually are. And the day you consistently act on your goals is the day your life begins to accelerate in ways that shock everyone around you. There will come a moment on this journey when everything inside you screams to stop, when your body feels heavy, your mind feels foggy, and your spirit feels exhausted. This is the moment most people quit. But this is also the moment where the new version of you is born. Growth does not happen when things are easy. It happens when things challenge your identity. When you push through those moments of resistance, a psychological transformation occurs. You begin to realize that your limits were nothing more than illusions. And each time you break one, you become more powerful than the person you were yesterday. Your environment is shaping you, even when you're not paying attention. The voices you listen to, the habits of the people around you, the energy of your surroundings, all of it influences your behavior, your mindset, your focus. If your environment is chaotic, you will be chaotic. If your environment is stagnant, you will stagnate. But when you intentionally build an environment that supports your success, you elevate your entire life. Your daily habits become easier. Your motivation becomes stable. Your clarity becomes stronger. And you begin to rise above the limitations that once felt permanent. Every excuse you've ever made was designed to protect an outdated version of yourself. Excuses are the armor of weakness. They comfort you, shield you, defend you from responsibility, but they also imprison you. Every time you choose an excuse over action, you reinforce a belief that you are incapable of change. But when you break that pattern, when you refuse to hide behind excuses, you reclaim a piece of your lost power. And with enough reclaimed pieces, you rebuild a version of yourself that fear cannot manipulate. Success is not a straight line. It is a psychological war. A war between discipline and distraction, between growth and comfort, between your future and your habits. Every morning you wake up with these two armies waiting for your command. The side you strengthen becomes the side that wins, and the habits you build determine which side grows stronger over time. If you feed distraction, distraction rules your life. If you feed discipline, discipline becomes your identity. And once discipline becomes who you are, success becomes unavoidable. You must realize that transformation is a lonely process. Not because people don't care about you, but because they don't understand the war you're fighting. They don't see your late-night battles. They don't hear the doubts screaming inside your mind. They don't feel the weight of the dreams you're carrying. But loneliness is not your enemy, it is your sharpening room. In solitude, you discover clarity. In solitude, you discover strength. In solitude, you discover the version of yourself that the world was never supposed to influence. Your future is begging you to stop wasting time, begging you to stop repeating the same cycles, begging you to stop living like you have an infinite number of tomorrows. Time is the only currency you cannot earn back, and yet it is the currency most people spend carelessly. The person who treats every moment as an investment becomes someone extraordinary. When your habits respect time, time begins to reward you. It multiplies your effort. It amplifies your discipline. It accelerates your success. And soon your future begins to look nothing like your past. Most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack emotional control. They let boredom stop them. They let fatigue distract them. They let fear slow them down. They let doubt paralyze their decisions. But when you master your emotions, when you feel fear but act anyway, when you feel doubt but still move forward, you become unstoppable. Emotional discipline is one of the hidden ingredients of success. Without it, you crumble. With it, you rise. There is a moment in every transformation where you realize you can never go back. A moment where the old version of you feels foreign, weak, unrecognizable. This is the threshold of rebirth. The moment you cross it, your identity shifts permanently. You stop thinking like the old you. You stop choosing like the old you. You stop reacting like the old you. And the habits you build become the armor that protects your new identity from slipping back into the shadows of who you used to be. The truth is, your life is not waiting for someday. It is waiting for today. For the choices you make, for the actions you take, for the discipline you enforce. Transformation doesn't begin when circumstances improve, or when motivation strikes, or when the timing feels right. It begins the moment you decide you are done living below your potential. And when that decision becomes a habit, when action becomes automatic, your entire existence shifts into a new dimension. You are standing at the edge of the greatest transformation of your life. You may not see it yet, but the shift has already begun. Your mindset is awakening. Your discipline is strengthening. Your identity is evolving. And the 3 habits you are adopting are the catalysts of this evolution. If you continue on this path, if you refuse to surrender, refuse to slow down, refuse to break your pattern of growth, your life will become unrecognizable. And the world will witness the rise of someone they never expected, the unstoppable version of you. There is a powerful truth you must accept. Before your transformation can reach its peak, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is waking up thinking about how to fix your life, repair your mistakes, or build your dreams. This isn't a tragedy. It's liberation. Because the moment you stop waiting for rescue, you awaken the part of yourself capable of creating miracles. You stop relying on external motivation and begin generating your own fire. You stop expecting others to change so you can feel better, and instead you rewrite your own patterns from within. This shift in responsibility marks the beginning of true power. Every breakthrough you will ever experience comes from self-confrontation. The courage to look yourself in the eyes and ask, what part of me is holding me back? Most people never ask this question. They prefer illusions over truth, comfort over clarity. But you are building habits that demand self-awareness. Habits that force you to meet your flaws without fear. And the moment you confront the truth, the chains that kept you small begin to dissolve. Because the prison wasn't the world, it was your old patterns. Transformation does not require perfection, it requires persistence. The world is filled with talented people who never grew because they quit after the first setback. But the ones who rise refuse to give up, even when progress is invisible, even when results are slow, even when everything around them whispers, stop. Persistence turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. It shapes your character, sharpens your focus, and builds the psychological stamina required for greatness. When your habits strengthen your persistence, your destiny becomes unstoppable. Success requires that you outgrow the limitations you once accepted as truth. The beliefs that told you success is for others. The patterns that kept you small. The stories that convinced you to dim your potential. These limitations were never real. They were inherited, absorbed, or imagined. And now you are stepping into habits that are rewriting your internal script. Each repetition destroys a piece of your old identity. Each disciplined moment pulls you further away from the person you used to be. And eventually, you become someone capable of achieving what once felt impossible. You must understand that pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the sculptor of your greatest qualities. Diamonds only exist because they survive pressure. Strength only grows because it resists pressure. And your destiny can only awaken when you allow pressure to shape you instead of scare you. When you adopt habits that expose you to growth, challenge, and discomfort, you embrace the pressure required to reveal your strongest self. And the version of you that emerges is someone even you didn't know you could become. Most people live reactive lives. They respond to problems instead of preventing them. They react to emotions instead of directing them. They wait for circumstances instead of creating them. But when you live reactively, you surrender control of your destiny. The 3 daily habits you are mastering shift you from reaction to intention. You begin each day with clarity instead of confusion, purpose instead of passiveness, intention instead of impulse. This shift alone can rewrite the entire trajectory of your life. You have to become emotionally immune to the opinions of those who do not understand your journey. The moment you start transforming, you will intimidate the people who stayed the same. They may mock you, question you, doubt you, but their opinions are reflections of their limitations, not yours. Your habits will give you the confidence to ignore noise, walk alone if you must, and stay loyal to your evolution. Because the people meant to walk with you will rise with you. The rest will fade behind you. You will notice something profound. The deeper you go into this transformation, your thoughts begin to change before your results do. And that's how you know your habits are working. Your brain starts choosing discipline before distraction, commitment before comfort, purpose before pleasure. This mental rewiring is the foundation of everything you will build. And once your thoughts evolve, your actions follow with unstoppable force. Your external world becomes a mirror of your internal growth. You must guard your energy like it is the rarest resource you possess. Because it is. Energy determines your focus, your choices, your progress, your self-belief. But most people waste their energy on negativity, conflict, gossip, distraction, and temporary pleasures. Your habits will turn your energy into a weapon. They will direct it toward your goals instead of your fears, your growth instead of your doubt. And once your energy is aligned with your purpose, there is no obstacle you cannot conquer. The path to greatness requires sacrifice. Not dramatic, grand gestures, but quiet, daily sacrifices that refine your character. Sacrificing your comfort for discipline. Sacrificing your impulses for intention. Sacrificing temporary pleasure for long-term power. These sacrifices are the price of transformation. And though they are difficult at first, they eventually become natural, even effortless. Because once you experience the strength, clarity, and confidence that these habits give you, the cost becomes insignificant compared to the reward. Every day that you practice these habits, your future becomes more precise. You stop wandering, stop guessing, stop drifting through life without direction. Your purpose becomes clearer, your goals become sharper, your path becomes visible. This clarity is one of the greatest gifts your new lifestyle will give you, because a person with clarity moves faster, works harder, and fears less than someone living in confusion. And clarity, when fueled by disciplined action, becomes an unstoppable force. There will be moments when your progress feels hidden, unnoticed, uncelebrated. You may start to wonder if the effort is worth it. But remember this: transformation grows in silence. The greatest changes happen beneath the surface, long before the world can see them. Just as seeds grow underground before breaking through the soil, your new identity is forming beneath the habits you are building. And when the time comes, your results will erupt into your life in ways that feel sudden, but they were the result of months of silent work. One of the most powerful shifts you will experience is the realization that your future is not something you chase. It is something you design. Most people chase success like it's running away from them. They chase opportunities, relationships, validation, approval. But when you strengthen your habits, you stop chasing and start attracting. You begin to operate at a frequency that pulls the right people, the right opportunities, and the right breakthroughs into your world. Because success is not hunted, it is magnetized through discipline. Every step you take in this journey is leading you toward a version of yourself that you've always sensed, but never fully understood. A version that feels familiar yet distant, powerful yet calm, confident yet humble. This version of you is not imaginary. It is your truest self, buried beneath years of doubt, fear, and hesitation. And with each disciplined habit, each intentional action, each moment of growth, you are chipping away at everything that once concealed your greatness. You are approaching a turning point in your transformation, a moment where the habits you've built will shift from effort to identity. This is where everything becomes easier, faster, more natural. You stop forcing discipline and start living it effortlessly. You stop negotiating with excuses because they no longer speak your language. You stop thinking like the old version of yourself because that identity has finally dissolved. And when this moment arrives, your life begins to accelerate with a momentum that nothing can slow. You are entering the stage where the world begins to notice the shift within you. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it. Your presence becomes heavier, your decisions become sharper, your energy becomes louder. You move differently, think differently, speak differently, because transformation radiates through every part of your being. The habits you once forced yourself to practice have seamlessly merged with your identity. You no longer chase discipline, you embody it. And the world responds to that energy with respect, opportunity, and recognition. There is a unique kind of strength that forms when you've battled your inner weaknesses long enough that they no longer intimidate you. The temptations that once pulled you off your path feel irrelevant. The distractions that once controlled your time lose their grip. The emotions that once manipulated your decisions become powerless. This mastery is not loud or dramatic. It is calm, focused, controlled. It is the quiet confidence of someone who no longer fears themselves. Someone who has turned their inner chaos into inner order. Your growth will begin to create distance between you and the version of life you once accepted. Certain people, habits, environments, and conversations will gradually fall away. Not because you are better than them, but because you are building a life they cannot survive in. Growth is a filter. It removes everything that does not match your future. And even though this separation may feel uncomfortable, it is necessary. Because a higher version of you cannot coexist with a lower level of living. Do not underestimate the power of becoming a disciplined person. Discipline reshapes your entire world. It gives you control over your mind, clarity over your choices, and momentum over your future. Most people live as slaves to their impulses, reacting to every emotion, every distraction, every moment of discomfort. But when you master discipline, you become the one in control. You decide your focus, you decide your direction, you decide your destiny. And that level of power is rare, because only the few are willing to earn it. The deeper you step into this new identity, the more you begin to recognize patterns that once kept you chained. You notice the lies your old self believed. You notice the excuses you once accepted as truth. You notice the emotional triggers that once destroyed your progress. Awareness becomes your weapon. With it, you begin to break cycles that generations before you never escaped. You become the one who changes the story. You become the one who breaks the pattern. You become the one who rewrites the future. You will reach a point where you no longer rely on motivation to push you forward. Motivation is a spark. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline is a fire. It burns regardless of how you feel. And the habits you've built have transformed discipline from something you chase into something you carry. More powerful than emotion, more stable than desire, more dependable than inspiration. This shift is the foundation of every great life ever created. Success will begin to feel less like a dream and more like a responsibility. You will wake up knowing that your future depends on your actions, your habits, your choices. You will understand that greatness is not a prize. It is an obligation to the potential within you. And the moment you embrace this responsibility, everything changes. You stop waiting for life to reward you. You start earning your rewards daily. You start living with purpose, precision, and power. There will come a moment when you look back at the person you once were and barely recognize them. Not because they were weak, but because they were unfinished. They were the raw version of you, waiting to be shaped by discipline, sculpted by habits, and refined by struggle. And you will feel a deep sense of gratitude, not for the comfort that protected you, but for the challenges that forced you to grow. Every setback, every moment of doubt, every battle you fought became part of the transformation you needed. Your confidence will begin to rise from a place that cannot be shaken by opinions, rejections, or temporary failures. Real confidence is not loud, it is earned. It comes from keeping promises to yourself, from showing up when you didn't feel like it, from fighting battles nobody saw, from building habits that strengthen the parts of you nobody believed in. This confidence becomes your foundation. It becomes the core of the unstoppable identity you have created. The more you grow, the more you will understand that success is not an event, it is a lifestyle. A way of thinking, a way of acting, a way of responding to the world. It is built through consistent habits, not dramatic moments. And when you live with this mindset, success becomes predictable. It becomes repeatable. It becomes a natural outcome of who you are. You stop hoping for breakthroughs and start manufacturing them. There will be days ahead where life tries to test your new identity. Sudden problems may appear. Unexpected stress may rise. Old emotions may try to return. But the habits you have built will shield you. Your discipline will guide you. Your mindset will protect you. You will no longer collapse under pressure because you have become someone pressure cannot break. You are no longer the person who cracks. You are the person who adapts, overcomes, and rises. Your journey will begin to inspire others without you even trying. People will see the changes in you, the strength in your decisions, the clarity in your actions, the energy in your presence. They will ask you what happened, how you changed, what you did. And you will realize that your transformation was never just about you. By elevating yourself, you become a light for others. You show them what is possible. You show them that change is real. As you stand deeper in your transformation, you begin to understand a profound truth. Success is not about becoming someone else. It is about becoming the person you were always meant to be before fear, doubt, and comfort rewired your identity. Your habits are revealing your true nature, not creating a new one. They are uncovering the strength, talent, wisdom, and power that existed within you all along. And that realization becomes your ultimate freedom. The life you desire is no longer a distant vision, it is within reach. The path is clear, the formula is proven, and the habits are transforming you piece by piece. You are no longer waiting for change. You are no longer hoping for change. You are creating change every single day. And now the only thing left is to stay committed, stay disciplined, and stay loyal to the identity you have built. This is your moment. The moment you step fully into the future you are destined for. A future shaped by strength, carved by discipline, and elevated by the habits you now carry within you. You are no longer the person who waits, wishes, or wonders. You are the person who acts, builds, and becomes. The person who transforms their life from the inside out. And as you continue practicing these habits every single day, your life will grow into something extraordinary, something powerful, something unforgettable. This is your ultimate success formula, and it begins with the person you have now become.